The abilities, the knowledge, the wisdom that you embedded in me, I have multiplied it. I have helped so many people with it, and they found their way to you. It is like God's going to show you the way, and then when He shows you the way, right, you take the way, and then you go show it to others, and then others will also be shown the way. And this is a blessing to everybody because you see, you don't want to wait until things take place and then you don't know how to explain it. You don't want to wait until certain ways of life that has put God last to fail in order for you to say, you know what, maybe I should think of different ways to see happiness or to be happy. You know, to be happy is to know God because He's the one that created you. He's the one that keeps you healthy. He's the one that has a resting place for you. What happens physically, as you can see, right? It's not the permanent situation, but it's also God is always looking at the decision you choose to make. What choices in what positions do you make these choices in? Meaning that when you have it all, right, to your level of desire, what do you do with that desire? Or when you don't have it all, what do you then do? Do you seek Him only when you're in trouble? Or do you seek Him all the time? Or when it's good? Either way, you need to do it both times, good and bad, because He chose to keep you alive. By being alive, you still have a chance. God's not going to judge you on how good of an athlete you were or how good of a scientist you were or any of those things that you physically do in order to keep yourself happy. He's going to judge you based on the happiness that you try to give to others, to help others. The knowledge and wisdom that you have. Were you selfish? Did you keep it to yourself? Did you actually know the blessings and the peace? Did you try to grow that peace by helping others to understand? Because guess what? To this day, when you are sleeping, you don't know when you're going to wake up exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, what have you left? What mark have you left? Because you see, your life is important to others, but have you made yourself important to God? How you make yourself important to God is not just spending time with God. It's utilizing the abilities that God has given you in order to bring people. Every time it says in heaven that every single time somebody turns away from their sins and they start to worship God and they accept God, right? The whole heaven praises and has, what's it called? A party. They feast. They're happy. It's joy. Now you tell me. So then what does that mean? It means the happiest time is when your abilities that God has given you, you start to share it to others so that it will enlighten them. That means you're igniting their candle within them to create flames that is a burning flame that is of good, so that will help them, and not only them, because now they're going to share the joy of knowing God from their unique perspective, and so that they are able to then also grow. Because guess what? We as humans learn from others. We learn from examples, how things are. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? Whatever we are seeing, whatever is being anticipated on a daily basis, all these things are influential. Now you must understand, what change are you bringing to the world? What difference are you making from what you have? You see, faith is about your creativity. Faith is about you doing without knowing. You see what I'm saying? This is a choice that everybody has to make. Just like everybody has to choose to sleep, everybody has to choose to do right or wrong. All of them have choices, but the ones you make have the consequences for not just you, sometimes society, community, wherever. All of them have influential, whether it's good or bad. They all have some type of influence. So you can choose to be the best person and to behave in the best perspective way. You can choose not to and bring harm and cause. Because guess what? God sees what you have done with what you have. And what are you trying to do? You see, you can't truly sell your soul to the devil. Because guess what? The souls do not belong to what? The devil. It does not belong to him. Matter of fact, his soul does not even belong to him. Do you see what I'm saying? But to entrap your soul, that means your soul being captured for a time being and getting used how they want it can be done. But to give your soul that does not belong to you means that it's false. People do go and say, well, they're going to sell their soul. They have sold their soul, and that they can't talk about Jesus Christ. They can't talk about Yahweh, the Messiah. They can't do none of those things. But at the end of the day, the peace, they don't have peace because now they're more enhanced physically. The entities and demons and principalities that live in them is using them to move forward with their expression. But know that God is on one side and the other side. One side have good consequences, the other side of God has bad consequences, but he's on both sides. It's like, take it for like this. God's playing chess with God. So he's playing chess with himself. See what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. No matter what you may see it or perceive it to be, that's how it is. Because if the devil is basically fighting against us and God is saying we are more powerful than the devil, then God knows, obviously, that we know or that we should know how to foresee ourselves, right, in the light of the devil. Because we are created with 4 elements. We have him in us. So we are him. Anything else is non-existent. Your flesh is temporary, right? Your flesh is temporary.